Pennies Going in Raw is a production of iHeartRadio. The opinions expressed in the following podcast are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security or investment product. It is only intended to provide education and entertainment about the financial industry and the stock market. Enjoy!
On this episode of Pennies Going in Raw, we talk about bouncing back in 2022, a swing update, and a PlayStation 5 giveaway.
You find out life's this game of pennies.
Oh, you guys know we only have a 40% runner. Hello, 40% is a fucking killing.
We've been compliant for too long. It's time we go to war.
I don't have a Roth.
Hugh knows so much about the market that his brain doesn't have enough room for grammar.
Hey, who told me about IDEX? It's going up a shit ton now.
Rob, 4%, baby. No way. 4 fucking percent.
You asked the exact same question with 2 words different.
It's like, man, I just got dick whipped for like 20%, and now that f***er's up like 50.
I bet Warren Buffett never did that.
I'm just making this voice memo to call out unusual whales to a fight.
The pennies we need are everywhere around us.
Pennies.
Going in Raw.
Featuring Dan, Deity Dips,
And Hugh Honey.
Produced by Vinny.
And Christian.
Let's go, baby.
Welcome back to another episode of Pennies Going in Raw. Today is Wednesday, December the 29th. 2 more trading days in this year. I mean, what are we thinking about this? I mean, SPY soaring, swings. A lot of the IPOs not doing so hot, but you know, it's kind of at the point where I'm like, hey man, are we cutting these for a little tax write-off, or is this the bottom?
Yeah, definitely cut the swings that you feel the least conviction about, especially if you're down. I mean, this is like kind of the last few days before you get that, as you said, like that little write-off, you know, lower the P&L a little bit for the year. And especially like if you just know in your heart of hearts that it's not going to work out, or like you're just holding a bag, this is a really easy way to swallow that pill. You know, it gives you an excuse to swallow that pill, where, you know, if you make it through January 1, then you're just dragging the inevitable out with you. So cut those few swings that you don't feel good about, that maybe you're down like 6, 8, 9, 10, 20% that you just know aren't going to go back.
All right. I know a lot of people probably don't want to hear that, but you know, sometimes maybe time to sell it. Wait your 31 days and add it back, man, if you really want. And if it does skyrocket within those 30 days, obviously just blame Hugh, and he'll financially compensate you for your loss.
The natural thing to do. But that's probably, honestly, that probably is what happens though in a lot of these things, is that you see like that selling pressure last few days to finish up, and then things pop as I know it's canned the January poppers, but January poppers are a real thing where, and it'll be good, I think, to see the entire like small cap market maybe up like 15-20% one or 2 days. Like we haven't had one of those days where it just feels like the entire small cap market's up like 15-20%.
Yeah, it definitely has been a while since I felt like the small cap retail traders were just in control, dominating. I miss it, man.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think that we need this big washout. I mean, a lot of people if you were playing in the last 2 months, you've been trading a lot and you're green, props to you, because there were a lot of opportunities, but there were so many opportunities that look like opportunities, but then they end up just failing miserably. And we've seen a big disconnect, a bunch of rotations, which is not normal for the market. And so props to you if you're green over the last 2 months, because it's been tough trading no matter what you're trading, but especially small caps, even large caps. It's been really tough out there.
So let's say you've had obviously you had your first few months and it gave you confidence to keep trading because the first few months of the year were so hot. And obviously there were a couple random months in there that got super hot as well. But let's say your past 2 to 3 months just, kind of took it out of you, made you less confident in yourself, made you less confident in your strategy? Do I need to rebuff the resume? How can you kind of end this year with these last couple days and make sure you're going into 2022 as sharp as possible? You want to make sure you get that buffer again at the beginning of the year for not only the confidence reason, but I mean, you need it now.
Yeah, exactly. The biggest thing that I would do is that I would just really wait for the good setups. Like, especially like I know myself, I'm gonna tweet. I'm gonna treat 2022 as like the year where like I really try and zone in and not over trade. Just take really good setups, really good risk to reward. And I might not be looking for like 1,000% year this year, but instead I'm going to look for like a really high win percentage on most of my trades, because at the end of the day, I think a lot of my favorite quotes I realized are all basically like the ones that say, you never go broke taking profit. Like if you have a big enough of a book, like a portfolio, and you only wait for the right setups, and every setup you do like you take profit at like 7% or something. Like every 10 trades you can double your portfolio, stuff like that. But it's the big losses that really kill you, like little quotes like that are what I've really come to enjoy. And I think that, like this year, like that's what I'm going to try and focus on. It's only having that high win percentage, not really worrying about necessarily like hitting home runs and stuff. And I think that will be good. And I think it's something that like a lot of people could benefit from. Like if you only take those setups that have a really good risk to reward. Like there's times where, and everybody gets it, where you instantly buy something and like 2 minutes later you're like, shit, like I really bought this thing high. And at the end of the day, like, do I really know why I bought this thing? And so I think it's like trying to stay away from that feeling would be really good in 2022, and just focusing on that really, really high quality trade setups.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things with the only focusing on the high quality trade setups. It's one of those very obvious old sayings, work smarter, not harder. You don't need to trade all day. If you just wait for that right one, if you're a little more patient for it, you don't end up, and like you said with the, hey, wow, I just bought this super high. A lot of times that's due to you or someone chasing an alert. The reason it's so high is because someone tweeted it, you bought it, and it's immediately back down. Your average is high because we couldn't wait just a little bit,
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. So, that's pretty much what all things come back to, is just having that FOMO and chasing things when maybe not knowing, too much about them. And so me personally, like, that's what I'm going to really try and focus on. Just because, at this point, it's like I don't think that I necessarily need to go for an 1,000% year. I mean, yeah, fuck yeah, that'd be sick. But if I could just do like 200 to 300%, like a normal fund or whatever, then that would be perfect. That's fine for my risk appetite.
Okay, so let's say the new year does start. Obviously, we have this whole January popper thing. It's hot in January for small caps, yada, yada, yada. But, do you change up your strategy? Should your past couple months been bad? Or do you just think it was, maybe the market wasn't there for it? Or even if it is working in January and not now, is that more of a thing that's just saying, hey, you're chasing and it just happens to work in certain months and maybe you do need to change your strategy?
I mean, things definitely, everybody goes on cold streaks. That's just a fact, and that's just a way that things are. But if you're noticing that the market's changing and your outcome isn't really changing, so one of the things that we always talk about is that when we're on really hot streaks, or like, we're killing it out there, we like to really hit it hard. And what I mean by that is that when things are hot, we're using a lot of our portfolio a lot of times, and we're fine with that. And then when things are cold, we kind of back off. We use like maybe a quarter of the amount of size that we would inside a hot market. It's more about like keeping enough money to keep the lights on and not really worrying about maybe 3-4xing the account. So with that being said, I think it's important to note that if you're seeing the market change and your results aren't really changing, then yes, definitely try and switch up the strategy. You should switch up this strategy, because there's no point there's truly no point if you're just continuing to lose and the tide has changed. Like that's kind of like there's clearly like a blatantly there's clearly a blatant problem. One of the things that I would say is that if you are having, like, let's just say 50-50 on a trade, but yeah, your account's like still getting killed, that usually means, and this is what we find a lot with newer traders, is that you're probably not letting your runners run. Like that means that you're probably taking profit like 3% when most of them go like maybe 10 or 12%. And then the other thing is that you just keep averaging down on your losers. And that's like really tricky for a lot of people, because when they see green, they want to take it off the table and sell it. And when they see red, they just want to add to that losing position to average down. And I totally get that. But as we said earlier, how many times do we have a position where, we know that it's not going to be a winner and we're kind of just praying, like we're just averaging down, we're getting into that bigger position. And then what happens when it keeps on going down, but then the winners, we see any kind of green and we're like, oh, there we go, time to sell it. And that's fine. That's totally fine. You can sell things instantly when you're green. In fact, you should. But the difference is that if you have a 50-50 win rate and you're taking things off the table at a 3% winner, but then your losers, you're letting lose 10%, and you continue to average down, stuff like that. You're gonna kill yourself on the account. And that like sounds super simple, like no duh, Hugh. Like obviously, I should let my winners run and cut my losers fast, but that's not how it goes. I mean, I still do that. I still do that where I catch myself like averaging down on something that I just know isn't going to go. So it's really important to kind of see where you're at. And if this kind of sounds like something that you're doing, one of the ways to combat that is that make your starter kind of like your full position. So if you have like a $10,000 account, make your starter $500 and then say, okay, if it goes down 3%, I'm going to add it once. And so my $500 position is going to go to 1,000. And then on the flip side, I'm going to take half profit at 3% and another half profit at another 3%. And then that's going to give you a way to, and that's going to give you a way to kind of reduce your risk and maximize your reward. But the thing is that I want you to see when you add to your position, if you're continuously losing once you do that first add. So for instance, you add the 500, then you average down, add another 500. If you're still seeing that a majority of the time it's catching your stop loss, then that is a fundamental breakdown inside your strategy. Okay. So like I said, do something where at 3% gain, you cut half, and another 3% gain, you cut the other half. And then on the flip side, at a 3% loss, you add another $500, and then at another 3% loss, you have a stop loss. Something like that, something where it's very systematic. And then if you're catching yourself, continuously hitting that stop loss, then that's a clear fundamental sign that there's a breakdown inside your strategy. And you should probably just start from scratch, because that just means that you're either chasing things, you're not waiting for the right setup, or maybe you don't even have a setup at all and you're just kind of like, fuck it, this looks good here. And for longevity, that'll never work. So I think that that's really important. That's one of the things that we see a lot of times with newer traders, and that's one way that you can combat that, and also kind of catch yourself in the act. Because at the end of the day, if you don't see anything wrong with what you're doing, then you're just going to continue to do it. But if you can sit there and say, okay, this is what Hugh said, this is how he said to take a systematic approach, and now 9 out of every 10 trades are still hitting my stop loss, I can sit there and say, okay, something's wrong with my strategy and I need to start from scratch.
Beautifully said. Wow, look at you. Very articulate today.
I try, bro.
So you did also mention 2 swings either last week or the week before, just kind of starting, hey, these look like they're at bottom. And they were GAME, not GameStop, you degenerates, and DATS, because it had gone from $18 to $3, and it seemed like the place to add for you, and it seemed like that was bottom. So do you want to kind of give an update on those?
Yeah, I mean, we were kicking ass in them, and then they're both down 5% today, which is kind of fucking annoying. But we're still up about, in game, I'm up, my average is 295, and we are up about 4%. And then DATS, we are up 5.5%, and my average is about 307. That, and we talked about last episode, like there were chances to add lower, and same thing, like we continuously talk about, like both of these are down 5% today. Like this is like the time where like if it goes down a little, so it's sitting on both that, like let's take DATS for instance. DATS is sitting on support. If it flushes that support and it comes closer to 3 again, like I'll probably add again. It's one of those things where like, do I want both swings to be down 5%? No, but like, do I really see a reason for them to be down 5%? And if my answer is still no, which it is, then it's one of those things where like, okay, let me evaluate it. Let me add some. And then when it goes back up to these levels, I can sell some and pad some profit. So it's one of those things where like trading around the core is still very viable, even inside these bigger swings, these bigger picture swings. And like I said, is that you can pad your profit, even if it doesn't have to do much to your account. It can do, 0.5%. That's still 0.5% more than what you had. So it just comes down to, understanding where your key levels are, where your support and resistance are, and having that like emotional trader intelligence and asking yourself, okay, why is this thing down? Does this make sense to be down? There's tons of opportunities to be able to trade around the core of your swings and just pad that profit. And you'll see 4 or 5 times of trading DATS between 3 and 320, and you'll have a nice little buffer. And you don't need to trade big size. You can be 1/10 of your position, but you do 10% of your position for 5%, and all of a sudden you're an extra 5% bump bonus, and without even really trying hard and without even really thinking about it, but you're not taking on that huge risk of like doubling down and tripling down. So I think this is just like a really good, getting close to a really good ad spot on a really big down, or, a considerably down day. 5% isn't crazy down, but, if Apple was down 5%, it would probably be on every headline around the country. So I think it's important to understand what's going on, why things are happening, and understanding where support and resistance lines are.
Yeah, trying to find that bottom before where everyone thinks it's going to be on a lot of these stocks due to the sell-off before the end of the year. Kind of fun, kind of dangerous. I'm dabbling a little bit. Just had some ITRM at 43 cents. Wild, I don't know.
Wow, that's crazy. 43 cents?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gun. See, it was like at 80 and then it dropped to 50 and then like it kind of broke that. So I was like, whatever. Just been kind of waiting for it again. It hit like 48 again today. So I don't know. Maybe there's something brewing in the stew. I don't know. Fuck it, man. We're live trading here.
Wow, dude. This thing was really at 250. I mean, this thing was really at like 4 in the summer, but
yeah, well, you know how
that's
the cookie
crazy.
crumbles. We'll see some 42s. I got snacks on. Just had some volume
wow.
today, man.
Yeah, look at that. Jeez,
I don't know.
okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah, maybe this is like I said, like the last few days of selling on these small caps, and then everybody comes back. Like I'm not really trading this week. Somehow I'm down 25 grand today. Like dude,
I don't know why I'm down so fucking much. Like yesterday I was down a lot. I'm like, I don't have fucking shit in the market. Like what the fuck's happening?
Yeah, like I literally am just checking in on things, and I'm still losing like a Honda Civic every day. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It's not fun. Yeah, I'm like, dude, I thought I was taking like a week off, but like my boss is still calling me to tell me that a raccoon destroyed my office fucking every day. So I still gotta go in the another little end of the year segment we can do. Do you want to do like best trades of the year, best worst trades of the year, et cetera, et cetera?
Oh, when do we do FinTwit Awards?
Probably Sunday, or let's see what day is Sunday. I think Sunday is, we could probably do it Sunday. Maybe a little soon, but either Sunday or the 5th.
Hell yeah. Let's do it. Let me see. Okay, yeah, so for this year, best trade. Ooh. Probably BCTX.
BCTX. Yeah, so percentage-wise would absolutely be AMC. 17,000% on options. You can't really beat that.
That's insane. Oh, man, that's insane.
Yeah, I know, dude. I'm really hoping for something like that again with the new financial freedoms I've allowed myself.
God, that would be so sick. Like, imagine if you had like 100 grand in there.
Dude, fuck it. Just 20 grand. 20 grand. Check this out. 17,000%.
What would that be? 3.4 million?
What is 17,000% of? See, I'm not
3.4 million, something like that.
It's a lot of fucking money, dude. Who knows? But yeah, it's a dick load, man. If you had 20 racks in there, yeah, I would not be recording a podcast right now. No, but seriously, that there's some potential there. Biggest loss this year, if I take away so RGS, I was up like 80, 90 on it. That has disappeared. It's at like 160 now. I don't know why people just decided they hated fucking supercuts a whole lot more than they did a month and a half ago, 3 weeks. But that'll probably be my tax write-off bag that I cut.
Mine was definitely Sava. Sava got me for like 1.6 in February.
Damn.
Yeah, that was the tough one. I think it was February or end of January. I told you that one, right? We talked
I remember.
about the pod,
I remember you said you lost like a fuck ton of money in January. I just never knew how.
Yeah, no. So it was Salva. It was when everything was running, and honestly, like I just got my emotions get the best of me. Like I had buddies texting me who were like up 30 grand on AMC and stuff, and like, yeah, bro, like no wonder you're successful at trading. Like this shit's so fucking easy, blah blah blah. And so like I got that into it, and then I lost a few bucks on AMC. I got like stopped out, and then I was like all in my bag and shit, and then what was it? Salva released. This is what the press release said. The press release said we may potentially in the future have good preclinical data, like something along those lines. Like we may potentially in the future have good preclinical data. And I was like, oh my God, like this fucking company, like, and so I had been long Salva at one point in my career. I was swinging Salva, and I just learned how dirty their management team was. I wasn't a fan of them at all. I didn't like them, and I knew that they were, in my opinion, a little dirty, a little scummy, a little.
Sometimes you like to play with the dirty girls, dude. There's a risk of getting gonorrhea.
Dirty girl saw me coming from a mile away. She saw me coming from a mile away and robbed me blind. So on that press release, the stock went nuts. I mean, the stock was trading like 5 or something. So I started short on it at like 50, 55. It went to 70. I'm like, dude, this thing will end red on the day. Like, this is going to be huge. So then at 75, I got bigger. 95, I got bigger. Now the stock crosses 100, and I have so much size. Like I was literally like every dollar was probably like 100 grand or something, like something absolutely wild. And I'm like, holy shit! Like now I'm down a fuck ton. I think I was down like a mil at that point or something, and I was like, okay, I need to manage this risk because there really hadn't been like a red candle. And I mean, it was straight through 100. So I thought 100 was going to be like that big psych level. And it was not. It ripped right through 100. And I was like, okay, if this thing hits 115, like I just have to take my loss because I'll blow up. Like if this thing goes like 300, like I'll truly blow up or something.
What's that now?
And, yeah, well, you'll like this one. So it hits 117. I mean, it hits 115. I cover all my shares, and I market bought all my shares.
Damn, it's at 45 right now.
Yeah. So it basically I had sold it like 115 to 160, and it hit 117, and then I think ended the day at like 55.
Dude, this is crazy. It's like, hey, I'll hit 100, then I'll go to 30, then I'll go to 140, then I'll go to 50, then I'll go to 130, then I'll go to 50, then I'll go to 120, then I'll go to 50, then I'll go to 90.
Yeah. Yeah, so
maybe we should
here, I'll
buy
bring
it,
up real
dude.
quick.
I think we should buy it right here. Do you look at that 1 year chart, dude? It always hits 100.
It literally always does. So yeah, so that like, let me see it. So yeah, here we go. So this was the day that it what was this? Yeah, so it had hit like 117 or whatever. And yeah, I was just the dumbass. Yeah, here we are, February. Okay. So it hit 118.09, I'm seeing. Something like that. And it ended the day like 63, and then the next day it hit 43. So yeah, that's my fuck up. Sava. I basically top tick Sava. So if I started shorting there, wow, whoa, what could have been? But yeah, no. So my $1.6 million loss on Sava was my biggest one this year.
Damn, that makes my wish loss not seem so bad.
I honestly like that kind of ruined my size for like the rest of the year. I feel like I just really haven't been feeling like the same size. Yeah. I'm gonna try and like
family
like
could have gotten
2022.
Corvettes.
That's true. That's true. That's true. And then let me see. So my plan for 2022, like I said, is that it's gonna be slowly easing in, but it's like one of those years where like I'd like to do just really consistent trading, really really good trading. No big drawdowns like that Sava, and maybe do like 400% or 500% on the account, something like that. That would be beautiful.
400% sounds like a great 2022. All right, well, I would say the story of Wish and how I lost a lot on that, but I feel like it's kind of obvious. I bought it on the dip to 13. It's now chilling around 330. The only right move I made on it was buying puts for the earnings. That was awesome. Other than that, it's had its way with me. So, I guess that's what I get for investing in the fucking fake Amazon. See, I think it's the 30-day shipping, man. Once they figure that shit out, we're going to the fucking stratosphere. Well, there is one last thing. Christmas was just happened, and Hugh probably got a PlayStation, and he doesn't like video games or fun, so he's gonna re-gift it to one of you guys.
No, that's not the fucking story. My roommate and I were buying PS5s together, and Walmart didn't fill his order, and I just wasn't gonna play PS5, so instead we're gonna give it away.
Okay. So is your roommate just not getting a PS5?
I don't know, but I mean, I was just sick of looking at it because I'm not gonna play. So we decided to give it away.
I bought the new Xbox. It's been out for a while, but there's a new Halo that came out, Halo Infinite, and I love Halo. It was like one of my first games I really fell in love with, and so I had to buy the new Xbox to play Halo. And they're so hard to find. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just spend $1,000 on it. So I didn't have to wait for like GameStop to send all their users an email so I could all that bullshit. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just spend $1,000. I actually looked on the Facebook Marketplace and there was like $600 ones there. So jumped the gun on that one. However, jumped the gun even earlier than I thought. I fucking get this game. You don't even need this Xbox to play Halo. You can use it. It's cross-platform. You could do it on the fucking old one. The one that's been out since 2014. So, more about patience on a later episode. But I am playing Halo, so sick.
Dude, I'll download some Halo. I'll give it the old Halo.
Yeah, just like that. I love Halo. But we do have...
That's sick. So, how do you want to give it away?
So I think since it's the end of the year, we could do the old like and retweet. Fuck, maybe a quote tweet if you're feeling fancy. And respond with your favorite part of the last year's episode. Of any episode, you can record it, screen record it from YouTube or just the Spotify or Apple app. You can put it in quotes, do whatever you got to do. Put your favorite lesson, your favorite quote, your favorite Hugh alliteration, idioms, anything that you really love from this year's episode. Maybe a favorite segment, just something that you enjoyed and that like and retweet, and of course a 5-star, because we're trying to hit that 5,000. And you are in the chance for running. You just put all your little credentials in the responses, and we'll give out a PS5. Thank God you have it, because I would never mail it. I told myself I'm never mailing anything after I did the first 300 T-shirts we sold. But yeah, we got a PS5. Is there
bonus submission if you let's do a bonus submission if you leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
Ooh, a bonus submission. See, the issue is so many people already have. So get your mom's phone. If you're still home for Christmas, get your dad's phone, get your brother's phone, get your wife's phone. Do it on your wife's phone. If you do it on your wife's phone, it's extra fucking bonus points.
Yeah.
And download all the episodes and play it on 4X and just run through those ads, dude.
Yeah.
And also,
do that.
Yeah. And last but not least, there are like 10 to 15 more PGIR crew necks on the website. We needed a couple because I literally gave all of mine away. I had like 25 and I literally gave them all away.
Dude, my mom, the ones that I got for her, she gave away for Christmas Eve. Like we give like gag gifts to all like the cousins and stuff, and all of a sudden like I see people wearing like my crew neck, and I'm like, where the hell did you get that? And like, oh, like your mom gave it to me. I'm like, Mom, those are for you.
Dude,
there's so heartbreaking.
There's a lot of PGIR sweatshirts going around Houston. I can tell you that. I mean, seriously, everyone just comes in my apartment and just takes them. Like one day, hey, dude, my biggest fear was seeing one at an ugly Christmas party, ugly Christmas sweater party.
Yeah.
But no, we're
but nothing, right? Yeah, we're in the clear. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for the PS5. Maybe we'll even like sign it or something.
Yeah, sign their PS5. Fuck yeah. They'll just wash it off. All right, guys. Well, it's been a lovely Wednesday with you all. I've got to go sit courtside at the Lakers game so I can get LeBron's DNA on me, and then obviously I will clone him, and I will have my own basketball boy, and he will be so good at basketball, and he'll get signed by all the Nikes, and I won't have to work anymore. So that's the goal. I'm bringing a jar of sweat, and I'm saving LeBron. All right, see you guys.
Pennies Going in Raw is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.